Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I am looking at JUND Storm the Festival. I haven't named the deck yet, JUND Storm. This is obviously centered around Storm the Festival, so it's a 6 costing sorcery. Look at the top 5, you may put 2 permanent cards of mana value 5 or less among them on the battlefield, but the rest on the bottom in any order, and it has flashback for 10. So we obviously have plenty of 5 costing permanents in the deck. I then have 5 4 costing permanents and a whole bunch of 3 costing permanents, so we should always find at least a couple of permanents. Sometimes we could brick and hit a land and 1 permanent, but we'll always find 2 permanents. The only non-permanents in the deck are some removals. So what permanents have I opted for? I have opted for quite a range. The reason being that we kind of want to be able to answer all sorts of different things with this deck. The meta has diversified a bit, it's not just black everywhere, and thus we need to be a bit more flexible with the kind of answers that we're including. So what I have got is one Silverback Elder, the 5 costing Ape Shaman. It's a 5/7. This card kind of has 2 places in the deck. One is obviously against enchantments, because whenever you cast a creature spell you can destroy target artifact or enchantment, but on the other side of the coin it's just really good against mono red or Boros or anything that doesn't have flat destroy. Having that 7 toughness basically means this is a decent blocker. It can also gain us more life and pull more lands out of our deck, so yeah, all round card. It's only a one-off because it's not that powerful, but when it comes up in the right situations, oh god, are we glad we've got it. 2 Workshop Warchief. So this is from Streets of New Capenna. It's a 5 costing Rhino Warrior. It's a 5/3 trample. When it enters the battlefield, gain 3. When it dies, get a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token. It has Blitz for 6, meaning that we can haste it in and sacrifice it at the end of combat, so trigger both of its enter and dies things. This pairs very well with Fable, because once we've got the Warchief and the Reflection, we can be creating ourselves a Warchief and dying every single turn, which pretty much closes most games down. We are running 2 Cruelty of Gix for some hand interference, being able to search our library for potentially the storm or other answers that we may require, and for resurrecting things from the graveyard. We have quite a lot of good creatures in here. Nothing massive. I'm not trying to generate Titans back. We're trying Storm as the top end instead of Titan, but I think it does still have a place in this deck, and it is a very powerful 5-drop to be able to hit off Storm. And then 1 Junji. It's nice to have a flying menace creature in the deck. It can be a closer on its own, or it can be interference with its dies triggers. So yeah, it's got a nice place in the deck, and I think a 1-off for this legendary creature is the right number. One of our engines of the deck, the Soul of Windgrace. I haven't played a lot with this in my previous videos, but this is a black, a red and a green for a legendary cat avatar. It's a 5/4 for 4, so we're only running 3 of these. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may put a land from a graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. Then it has green, discard a land, gain 3 life, 1 and red, discard a land, draw a card, or 2 and black, discard a land, and it gains indestructible, tap it. Obviously, this card is really nice if by turn 4 we can get a land into our graveyard. So when it enters, we get a land straight away and it ramps us. So we have a couple of ways of putting lands in our graveyard. We have Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Fable, always good for putting stuff in your graveyard. What a lovely synergy. But we also are running 4 Riveteers Outlook, which puts itself in the graveyard. So if we play this on any of our first 3 turns, and then we play Soul on turn 4, we instantly pull the Riveteers Outlook back and pull a whole nother basic out of our library, which is why I'm running 8 basics. So we should always be able to have targets for our Riveteers Outlook and our Topiary Stompers. 1 Unleash the Inferno as an answer to big creatures and enchantments and artifacts. 2 Sheoldred because it's really strong. It's legendary, so I don't want too many, but 2 seems the right number. I am running 4 Fables. 2 Jugan defends the temple. It's a bit of late game for us, somewhere to stick our mana later on when we don't have any storms left in our hand and we've sort of dumped all of our stuff on the board. We don't have lots of card draw, so having this to spend our mana on and give the opponent a couple of things to deal with is nice. 3 Stompers to help us get to Storm or get to our 5 drops. It's nice to be able to like have ramp in this deck so that even if we don't find the Storm or we can't cast the Storm, we can be able to pay for these things on their own. 1 Riveteers Charm as flexible removal. This is there for a couple of reasons. Making an opponent sack a creature can be nice against things like Graveyard Trespasser, where we don't want to target it directly. But also exile target player's graveyard is very nice against the mono blue decks. You know, if you exile their graveyard, Haughty Djinn has 0 power, so this can be very powerful. They do rely on having built up instants and sorceries in their graveyard for mono blue. 1 Azusa's Many Journeys. This is basically there to try and get us through the early game. That being able to play an extra land for ramp and then gain 3 life and then give us a 3/3 body all for 2 is obviously a very cheap. You know, it's a lot of value for 2 mana. But obviously I don't want loads of them because we're not going to have loads of extra lands to play around all the time. So I only typically run 1 or 2 of these. 4 Llanowar Loamspeakers as ramp. 2 Reclusive Taxidermist because 4 Loamspeakers isn't enough ramp on its own, and I wanted another mana dork. This one seems to fit best in the deck. Arguably could be a Courier's Briefcase or something though, for something slightly more sustainable on the board, but I'll have maybe a play around replacing this out at some point. 1 Tear Asunder and 1 Cut Down. So we've got like a bit of sort of flexible removal for cheap creatures, artifacts, enchantments, you know, graveyards, artifacts and enchantments again, things in hand. So we, you know, the idea really is that we're going to filter out the things we need and don't need using Fable, picking the things we want off of Storm in terms of creature removal, and yeah, I think we've managed to cram a lot of very powerful cards into this deck, so it should be a good fun one to play. So I'm going to have a few games now and show you how we get on. Okay, here we go. Let's storm this festival with a guest dog. This looks pretty good. The Azuzas could actually be helpful here. Just saying something. It's nice when you get the 1 copy and it's useful. Could also be helpful. Underdog, okie doke. I mean, following that with the Liliana wouldn't be that nice for me, but Trespasser is okay. We gain life. We can ramp towards our Storm. Could potentially Storm next turn, which would be nice. No counters in mono black. Fine. He's done his job. Down to 12. Nice. Okay, so let's take a Stomper as a 4/4 blocker and a Jugan. Gets us up to 7 lands with a mana dork. And the Stomper is a good blocker here. So is the likeness, but yeah.
Under my watch, vampire nor shoot. You can deal with my servant.
Okay.
I'm busy.
We can attack Sorin. We'll keep this one back. Guess we'll save our Stomper. We haven't got any lands in the graveyard for Soul, but Invoke the Slayer.
You wish to know my secrets? Very well.
This one. Do we kill this or do we kill this? Probably this. Curious. If that's just to get rid of Storm, that is a trade we'll take. Do you know what? We probably want all of these. Swing like that. Then we can put a load of counters on our soul next turn and we're in pretty good shape. So they can meet hook 4/5, so that could board wipe. But we've still got the Fable flipping. Okay, interesting. Sleeper, that's nice for them. Junji, that's pretty nice. Come on. So can I get? So if I put one on this, no, there's no way I can afford to put one counter on all of these and turn this remnant into a 7/7. Not possible. But I will put one counter on it just for posterity. There's still no lands in any graveyards. So I think we'll just do Junji and put one counter on it. Opponent seems to have got confused about how the game is played. Come on. It feels good though. Storm really set this game alight for us. 9 damage incoming. Yeah, that's a fine trade. Have I got a sound bug? I thought they got rid of the sound bug, but it's there. Look, they're missing certain animation sounds. Okay. Thankfully I have good blockers. GG. Yeah, minus 15. That's very, very solid game 1. Let's try again. Okay. Yoikat. Yeah, looks good. Got the outlook and the soul. That's enough of a start for me. I guess we'll take the swamp into probably Loamspeaker. Will it be another mono black opponent, I wonder? Oh, not mono black. It does look black. Soul of Windgrace turn 3 will be so nice. Unless this gets cut down. No, just Duress. So they can get rid of the storm, which I would do if I were them. Yep. But now they've got a nasty Soul of Windgrace to deal with. Axis. Swing with this. Get our land back. We'll take another green, I guess. And yeah, I guess we'll play this out. I mean, I could hold it to keep this alive potentially. Yeah, might as well hold it. I mean, the Soul is getting us one land a turn minimum, and we've got the Unleash the Inferno, you know, if nothing happens. I mean, if they just pass the turn, then we'll just pass back, I think. Yeah. That's pretty sweet. Riveteers Outlook again. God, this is grim for them. So I don't really want to cast Gix into their open hand, but I will just put another ramp spell down and pass back. Big score. Curious. I would guess it's a bombardment deck then. Unleash the Inferno can only kill bombardment if they have a 1 toughness creature, so. The Besieger could be very useful, given that we think that's what they're doing now. I don't think I want to discard the Besieger. Got other land to play now, so that's nice. Slowly kill them with this. Should we take one of their lands? Why not? Let's just cast this, I guess. We'll do it on 1, in case there's something from their hand we want to get rid of. Either way, I want to be looking at their hand, see what we're dealing with. Yeah, so it probably is bombardment. I mean, they've got Calamity in there as well. Curious. At the moment, they don't really have a way of getting rid of our Soul, because they've got 1 Infernal Grasp. Guess they're digging for a second destroy for that exact reason. Depends, they could try and jam Arcane Bombardment, but I'm not sure if they draw it, of course. Invoke Calamity. Interesting. That implies no bombardment coming, because they wouldn't just use their 1-cost spell like that otherwise. Okay, then they can invoke to spare the Soul. Can we do anything? No, I don't think so. We can just take this opportunity to Draw a card. I'm not even going to get the Gix second trigger because it will kill the enchantment as well. That's frustrating, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do this and this and we'll cycle this land, I think. We've got 2 forms of lethal on the board again. I mean, they can invoke their invoke, but any other one cost is a bolt or a duress, so they're probably, that would leave them dead. So I don't think they're going to do that. They could take a grasp, a big score, try and find something else. I don't know. Doesn't look like the invoked calamity is going to win the game here. Dog's just surveilling out the window. You gonna start barking? No, good. Thinking, yeah, I don't blame you. There's probably a lot to think about. I can't see a way out of it, but I can only see one of their cards, so. Hey. Well, being able to clone it will help. Rhea, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, we'll let them take the Unleash. And then they can use, they can't use the Grasp because that will kill them. So they're actually struggling for another removal. They've got 2 bolts in there. They double bolt the Stomper. Riveteers Outlook. That ain't exactly what I want, but we'll roll it out. I can put another lethal threat on the board. The last remaining basic out of our deck, and next turn we can storm if they don't get rid of it. Draw, discard land. 6 lands remaining. I don't think we have anything that is advantage to play before attacking, so we'll just try attacking. Riveteers Charm will do it. We can afford to pay for Make Disappear if we have to. Okay, we'll go the Elder and the Fable. Didn't fix the sound bug, did I? I'll have to fix that at the end of this game. They are hanging in there. I'll give them that. Even if there is a bombardment coming, they don't actually have the cards that they want left in their graveyard anymore. Having them on 2 is really, really costing them and not being able to use that Grasp. Yeah, Maestro's Charm can't kill the Elder. Invoke Despair for taking them to 1. Gosh. Right, another storm. Can we finish this bloody game? Any creatures that we can get out of theirs? No. Let's bring the Elder back, I think. Or do we search our library for a card and bring a Sheoldred? That's what I'm going to do. Then they have to kill it this turn. Oh, I should have brought a what do you call it? Should have brought a Workshop Warchief and hasted it, but anyway, still managed to get there. Just about pushed the win through. Next game, Day. All right, this doesn't look like our nicest starting hand, but we'll keep it. Ooh, mono red could be bad. We have a very slow hand. Although it's important to have the proving ground if we're against mono red, because we can't be tapping our lands for damage. Ah, that's one life back. The opponent hasn't been the quickest playing a 1-drop on turn 2, so we could still have a chance. Being able to get Sheoldred down against mono red is very nice. Which we should be able to. If we can get Sheoldred into Junji, we've pretty much gummed this board up enough. Yeah, we didn't want to block anyway. Don't want that. Yeah. And we'll ditch one of these. So maybe we just play the Sheoldred like this and keep this back as another blocker in case they deal with Sheoldred, and then but if they deal with Sheoldred, this is going to get attacked. We won't be able to block due to the firebrand anyway. I hope that isn't double play with fire. We've drawn whatever they left on top, which is worrying. Probably a land then. Devastator. We can block the firebrand safely. We're going to gain 2 life. I suppose we attack with the... Oh, we could just storm. Yeah, we can attack with this. So let's see what we got first. Junji could be better because it's a guaranteed flying blocker. Don't want to pay a life though. Can actually use Sokenzan if we have to now as well. Oof. I was wondering if there was like some like a lightning strike in their hand would have done it, but thankfully not. Alright. Gauze. I would like to go first again at some point. We'll keep 2 lands on the draw, it tends to be okay. Ooh, mono blue could be tricky. All of our stuff is expensive. So if they get ahead on tempo, we could be in trouble. It's not really an if, because they will get ahead on tempo. Only if we can get enough lands around to... I think we'll try and put the Taxidermist down. Let them counter the things we don't care about now, even if it means I can't play the Stomper next turn. Yeah, fine. I'm just thinking, like, maybe the trick against these decks is just keep playing creatures or keep playing non-creatures, so because they either run out of essence captures or negates, whereas if you play both, they're getting the opportunity to use both their, you know, types of countering. So let's try. I mean, they could just have make disappear, but syncopate, yeah. But we can just keep jamming creatures, you never know. We might get through eventually. Make disappear can't hit this one. Syncopate can. It was finally obviously getting to a tricky part for them. I would like this to resolve so we can use our charm, but well, not this turn, but as in future. Okay, we'll try. Oh, we can't try again. Did it in end step. Okay. Back up to 6 cards for next turn. No, 5 cards for next turn. Oh, they ditched their only land, so that could help us. Another bounce, yeah. I mean, fun to play against mono blue, isn't it? I mean, when we're land screwed, it's particularly bad, but. Okay, we've got a second one to try playing permanently now. Back down to 4 cards, 3 cards. Let's try and get rid of the. No, we just use this turn. Keep trying to do creatures, I think. Problem is we've only got 2 removals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 7 really to be able to comfortably try both, and even then we don't know it's going to work. This gains us life, but that doesn't particularly help. So if we do this, we can also try doing Jugan. That could be the way forwards. We try this first, maybe. Quite obviously a bait, but if we can get multiple counters out here, I'll be happy. End giving them 1 more card, but then we force them to use it in their mana and their turn at least. They could just phase it out or counter the spell, or there's all sorts of ways of avoiding this. But we got to make them do it. Let's syncopate for 1. Okay. So is there anything that we could hit off Storm that would save us? A Junji. And that is pretty much it. So this leaves us with 4 mana available, which lets us play a Sheoldred but nothing else. Guess we're just going to get negated though, syncopated. Syncopate for 5. Negate will do it. Can't do anything. There's our first loss. Mono blue. We got mana screwed, so I'm not feeling like we can't beat blue, but mana screwed on the draw. Okay. See if we can recover after that horrendous mono blue game. Nearly finished me off. God, we don't have anything. No, we can't keep this, can we? That's better. Don't want both of those, so. Oh, bloody hell, it's the same thing again, isn't it? Right, at least it's a test to see how well we can do against it. At least we can put a little bit of pressure earlier as well. Shredder. Don't see the Shredder every day. At least it's a chance for us to get some extra mana on the board. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Double connive. One land gone. And a spell pierce. Interesting that they don't want the spell pierce. Not interested in protecting the shredders. Get rid of one of them. Obviously the smaller one, but do this. Hopefully we draw out. I'm going to say a counter, but there isn't even one. It should let our Storm go off nicely then. Don't say you've topped the counter. Oh, just disdainful stroke. Running stroke. If they can cast 2 spell or any spell, we're dead. Be a second loss in a row, but then we're getting tempoed on the draw, so it's not too surprising. I have to look at what we can do against those though. Can't lose both. It's a bit frustrating. Okay, Cass. Let's see what we got. This is much nicer. We're on the play and we've actually got some cards. We don't have to mulligan. Now give me mono blue. I'll happily play against mono blue now. Get this going. Even though we're not flush with lands. It's still nice to get this ticking. One extra land. So it looks humansy. 5 colour humans. No lands in the graveyard, so let's just get this down, I think. Start putting some damage in. Could force them to try a Brutal Cathar or the Grella or whatever they've got. Relic of Legends. Definitely a Joda coming, so we need the charm for that. Could cycle this, but then we don't have a land to play this turn. Cool. I'll keep the charm still. Maybe we put the soul in. No, we'll put the Warchief in. Reliable damage with the trample. On top of the Sheoldred burn. Getting tricky for them to stay afloat. Fine, Pious Apparition can be here, we don't mind that. Hand upon another Pious Apprentice. Can't use Gix on our own graveyard at the moment. Let's attack with these and see what happens. Kill both the forms of Dennek. I think I'll still use this on one, because if we can preemptively get rid of a creature. They didn't want us to have that Joda. Okay. Yeah, this is another nice one. Actually draw our early game cards in the early game is quite a treat. White green with a life gain land. I think we'll do the Outlook this turn, and then Fable, and then we can Soul next turn to bring a land in. I may regret not charming that Naturalist, but yeah, we'll get rid of one of those. So we've got 5, we can make it 6, so I can't actually Soul this turn. But I think we need to get rid of the Naturalist, so and we need to find our little Silverback Elder for this exact matchup. We can dig with another Fable. Although we're going to start facing some serious number of spirits, aren't we? God, that's annoying. Ditch both lands. So I think we will just attack both of these. We don't mind trading them off or whatever, yeah. We will pull this so we can try and thin our deck out of lands. We don't want to be drawing anymore, so keep getting all of our forests. Soul is gone. And another enchantment. 4/4s. No meat hook in my deck, which is probably a big mistake. Where is our Silverback? I've only got one, but I want it. So we'll just play this so that we can clone it with Reflection, which is obviously a nice turn. But it it might not be enough. Every one that they get forced to block with is brilliant for us because it shrinks the rest of them. And soon we'll have 2 Workshop Warchiefs a turn if they don't get rid of them. That is an enchantment. That is. So they'll probably take the Warchief rather than either Reflection, but let's see. Yeah. And we'd definitely be double blocking 1 like this. Anyone we can kill is a big benefit. I guess we'll just jam this. I'm not going to do a lot right now. Get us a little life and thin some more lands, but that's all. And we'll just hold our reflection copies as blockers. No, we won't. GG. Can't tech against everything. Okay, made a very slight tweak to the deck based on that last heavy loss to the enchantments deck. I have added 1 cut down and added 1 tear asunder in replace of 1 Unleash the Inferno and 1 Topiary Stomper. A little less important to get to the storm as quickly as we have been. What is more important is getting there at all. So those changes, we're going to test through this game and see how we get on. Obviously if we're on the play and everything's great, then it won't matter either way, but definitely play the Loamspeaker over the Taxidermist against red land. Lightning Strike, fine, at least it's not in our face. Outlook for a Swamp. And then play the Taxidermist. And now we should be away against mono red. Squee, fine, we can kill off the 1/1s, so. Nice, we can play the Soul, that's even better than Fable. Gains us life as well. And thins our deck out. We don't need much more land, we've got tons already. Raiju, okay. I think we'll just let that through. I've got removal for it next turn. So if we do Fable, we have enough for a charm, so we'll do that. Get rid of the Raiju that way. Red Viper living up to their name. Stormseeker doesn't interfere with my plan. Let's not let them attack with Raiju in case they put the counter somewhere else. We can get in with those two, but that's not going to do them that good. Okay, just the Stormseeker. Let's go to the Terra Sunder. So we can play Stomper, put another land. Attack with these two. Pull another land. That's all the lands, all the basics out of our deck. Excuse me. Yep, don't mind that trade, whatever. And now we can play our Warchief, which is back up to 20 life, which is not where Mono Red wants us to be, is it? Got enough filtering that having the one off of Terra Sunder, having the slightly more diverse instants and sorceries, answers to things, is probably good. The diversity feels nice. Even though we didn't need it this game, if they had Kakozan, you know, it would have been helpful to have that. So, yeah, GG. Okay, just a quick look at the stats to finish the video. So I've played 12 games in total with this deck on the ladder. So obviously the ladder reset the first of the month. It's only my first day back playing as I've been on holiday for a few days. And yeah, 75% win rate over 12 games. Obviously not a huge sample size, but pretty nice. As you saw on the video, we did struggle against mono blue a little bit, and I did tweak the deck to hopefully make us slightly more effective against that. If this does tend to be more and more common, then we might have to gear our removal more towards that, i.e. playing more of the Riveteers Charm, because it's hard for them to avoid having their graveyard exiled and things like that. But I don't know yet. I don't think it is that common. I mean, we can have a very quick look at the meta at the moment, so we can just confirm how common it is in the top 3 ranks. Popularity today, mono black. Okay, mono blue is still only 6.3%, so it's not huge. We just happen to run into it quite a lot. We're doing very well against mono red and mono black. That's not surprising, as that is the kind of things that this mid-rangey blended colour tribe does well against. Mono things. Boros is basically red, and then Grixis is a nice one to be winning against. Enchantments, as you saw, we struggled against, and since then I added the Terra Sunder. So hopefully, you know, we'll swing that slightly more in our favour, and if we do manage to, you know, pull the Silverback or be on the play and get ahead of the curve, then, you know, this wouldn't be as difficult of a matchup. So yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's going to be one to use to climb a bit for this season. You know, it's already got me quite a sharp looking graph here, so yeah, going to have a bit more play with it. Obviously it's one where there are tons of choices for cards in these colours. I mean, it's incredibly powerful colour combination at the moment, and you know, the way that the meta is slightly shifting away from just mono black. You know, it's still 22%, but it is shifting. I can't, if I put this back to everything, I might be able to, no, don't know why I'm not allowed to look at a shorter time slot at the moment, but anyway, you know, it is definitely shifting. I can feel that with the mono black control definitely tailing off, but yeah, I think this one's can beat it. It can beat blue on occasion. I think that one's a tighter matchup. It can definitely beat red very reliably, which people, you know, there's always red lovers on the ladder, so you'll always have them there to beat. But, you know, the main way being using Sheoldreds and Silverback Elders. They're just not getting through them, are they? And Soul is very difficult to remove as well. So yeah, I think it's well positioned for climbing, and it's a good fun one to play. It does require a little bit of thought, but not too much, which is why I like it, I suppose. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. I will be releasing a couple more over the next couple of days, so stay tuned for more, and until next time, bye for now.